أمثلة عن هذه الحوادث وكيفية أو كيف تم السيطرة عليها أو ما هي الإجراءات التي اتخذت في المنشأة حيالها. بنبتدي مع الأستاذ إسماعيل محمد حسين. الأستاذ إسماعيل لديه خبرة تزيد عن 17 عاماً في الهندسة الميكانيكية والبحرية والتدريب وإدارة الصحة والسلامة. يعمل حالياً في شركة نفط البحرين بابكو، مراقب على السلامة والصحة المهنية. عمل كمهندس بحري في شركة تجارية وطنية للشحن البحري. التحق بمعهد تدريب في البحرين لترأس قسم التدريب على الصحة والسلامة المهنية. يحمل شهادة بكالوريوس في الهندسة البحرية وماجستير في الصحة والسلامة والبيئة، ويعمل حالياً لنيل شهادة الدكتوراه في السلوك المؤسسي. ممكن تفضل.
Shukran, Dr. for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'll be very brief in this presentation by outlining Bobco, what do we do and who we are, so that you have an idea of the organization I'm going to talk about. And then I'll define learning so that we're all on the same page, what really organizational learning is all about. And then I will briefly take you through how we learn internally within the organization and how we learn externally outside, bringing or drawing experience from outside the organization. And I'll spend some time on this slide where I will be giving you some examples of the initiatives that we have developed, that we have implemented as a result of incident investigations, internal learning, or as a result of review of incident investigations that took place outside the organization. At the end, I'll leave you with some concluding remarks. Okay, Bobco, Bahrain Petroleum Company, is a refinery. We refine crude oil, and we started in July 1932. We refine about 270,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Majority of it we receive from Saudi Arabia, and just 45 to 50,000 barrels we receive from Bahrain fields. We have products from middle distillate like jet oil, kerosene, and diesel. This is our mission, to sustainably manage and operate an integrated energy business, leveraging best practices and creating value for shareholders, customers, and employers or employees. And this is why we exist. This is our purpose, is bringing energy to the world for the enduring prosperity of the Kingdom of Bahrain. So we in Bobco, a very large organization in a very small country, and we are very important to the Bahrain economy. So I was reading a report recently issued by Marsh and McLennan in 2014. And this report talks about the top most expensive incidents in the history of the industrialization. And these are the 5 most expensive incidents that happened in this history, listed in a descending order in terms of cost. Piper Alpha in 1988 cost $3.4 billion in a direct cost, and resulted in 156 people died as a result. Challenger explosion in 1986 resulted in $5.5 billion in direct cost. A Prestige oil spill cost in 2002 and cost $12 billion. Again, Space Shuttle Columbia in 2003, $13 billion. And last but certainly not least, Chernobyl in 1986 cost $200 billion. All of these incidents happened from the 80s all the way to the 2000s, and we seem that we don't learn. Any pattern you could see from these slides, from these incidents? Anyone? Any pattern that it could just straight away, yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And any other pattern in terms of the companies that these incidents took place at? Yeah. We talk about Challenger explosion and Space Shuttle Columbia. They took place in the same company, in NASA. Yeah? Same organization, same circumstances, same root causes of incidents that took place in the same organization, same root causes. Deficiency in safety culture. That was the root cause. One of the root causes was the deficiency in the safety culture. Took place in a very, very well-known organization, NASA, across the world. So the question I had is why we not learning, we as the industry, why we are not really learning and these incidents keep on happening to us on the same organization, probably in the same unit, probably caused by the same people, probably caused by the same causes. And it seems that I just wanted to emphasize that learning from incidents is a very important piece of the management of health and safety. So we shouldn't really ignore learning from incidents or learning from any other experience that we encounter. We also should know that incidents have occurred in the past and provided lessons for us to prevent reoccurrence. Yeah? We don't seem to understand that concept or notion. Unfortunately, many organizations, including giant organizations like NASA, don't seem to learn and keep having the same incidents over and over again. Yeah, so I talked about learning, and let's just define learning so that we are all talking on the same page. So I just pulled these definitions from the domain, public domain, and there's thousands and millions of these definitions that define learning and learning organizations or organizational learning. And there's so many keywords in here. I just picked the keywords. Yeah, some of them, where is it? Okay. So process detecting errors or deviations in individual organization level, adopt preventative measures, correct errors. All of these are keywords that I pulled from these definitions, and this is what I got. So this is in bracket in the rectangle. This is if you put these words together, this is what you're gonna get. A process learning, organizational learning, is a process by which an error, deviation is detected at individual, subgroup, and organizational levels, corrected and adopted. Yeah, as simple as this. And if you just have learning in the context of incidents, this is what you are gonna get. Incident or learning from incidents refers to a process from determining lessons to using the results of these lessons for improvement and evaluation of the action taken. And we do that on both organizational, and learning can be within the organization and across organizations. So this is how we investigate incidents. So focus here is incident investigation. So this is how we investigate incidents within Bobco. So we're always after what happened, how it happened, and why, so that we just find the root causes and have some precautions to prevent reoccurrence. So when the incident happens, when the incident takes place, what we do within the first day of the occurrence of the incident, within the first day, we have the owner where the incident happened to notify that there is an incident, and these are the details of the incident, very brief detail of the incident, and just will notify us within 1 day of the incident occurrence. And then we will issue an alert. This takes place within 1 day of the incident occurrence. And then within 1 week, we expect a committee to be formed from different disciplines, and investigation will take place. And we usually use 5 whys to identify, to go to the root cause. And if we don't get the root cause of the incidents, within 1 month, we need to do a comprehensive investigation. probably the same team or having more disciplines within the team to investigate thoroughly. And we normally use a process called Taproot. Taproot is a system where we can get to the root causes of the incidents and have a recommendation and track them until they are completed. This is basically what we do. This is from day one of the incident, 111, day one of the incident, we notify of there is incident. Within 1 month or 1 week, we do investigation. And if it is not enough, we do a thorough investigation within 1 month, 111. From outside organizations, whenever there is an incident in the industry, for example, the Texas City refinery explosion, which occurred in 2005, so there was a panel led by James Baker, and they just generated a report. They just did the investigation, generated a very comprehensive report. I cannot remember the number of pages, but probably about 500 pages worth of data and information. So what we did, we just had this report. We just had this report, and we analyzed the report and try to find if anything is related to us, if any deficiency that caused the incident is within the organization, within Bobco. And then what we did, we just had an action plan to close these gaps. And there are different parties involved in actioning these recommendations until they are closed. Okay, in this slide, I will share with you some of the initiatives that we adopted because of incident investigations within the organization, or because of reviewing incidents that happened in different organizations, organizations in Bahrain, or across the Gulf, or across the world. So one of the initiatives, and this is very usual, is to introduce new procedures. So probably we're not doing things right, and this caused to incidents, to injuries. So one of the examples that we did, we introduced a procedure called leak protocol. Leak protocol is a procedure which empowers operators to shut down units. So if there is a leak in one of our units, the operator will just see symptoms of the leak, and he will decide to shut off the unit or not. Leak protocol procedures. And this is introduced as a result of an incident that took place in the US, in San Francisco, in one of the refineries in San Francisco. Changing existing procedures. So again, we found that our permit to work is not good enough. It's not watertight, and led to so many injuries in the past. So we had to change our philosophy of doing permits. The number of permits were so many, and they were so complicated, and we did some facelift to our permit to work, and now it's working very, very well, and we're doing some regular audits to find out whether we still have deficiencies or not. Extra personal protection. Again, some of the refineries somewhere else had incidents, flash fires, and personnel got injured because of flash fires. So we mandated, or we had a project to introduce fire retardant clothing to all personnel, Bobco personnel, going into processes. And we did this last year, and we will mandate this to all contractors end of this year as well. Fire retardant clothing. Campaigns. Some of the incidents, we found that there was a trend where incidents were caused by slips, trips, and falls. Simple things. Yeah? Someone is walking and just trips and break one of his legs or hands. Yeah? So we did a campaign, a comprehensive campaign, and we focused on communication in this campaign. And we did send messages, probably the same messages, multiple times, using multiple ways. And one of the messages which was really, really effective was creating short videos. I will share with you one of the videos that we did. These videos were developed by Bobco employees, and they were filmed by Bobco employees to Bobco employees. Very powerful videos. Hope it works. Just 1 minute, yeah? I think I need help. I did that. So, unfortunately, it did not work, but I will share with you another video. Again, another video is we had employees who had been through the experience of being injured talk about his injury. Very emotional, very, very emotional, and it impacted so many employees. It is really emotional, and I just wanted to share it with you. Again, 3 minutes, but I will not play it for 3 minutes.
On that day, my job is to clear the blocked tappings on hot HVGO in 6 VDU. We collected all the personal protective equipment which is required, and we reviewed the reaming procedures. And we took the necessary safety work permit. It was issued by the operation, and we started the job. We isolated the transmitter, depressurized the lines, and we insert our reamer in the line to deplug. And we finished the reaming, and we cleared the tap.
So I hope you had a flavor. So this person will be talking about his experience at home. So when he went home, how he dealt with his kids, and how the injury prevented him from hugging his kids and playing with his kids. Very, very emotional. I can share it with you. If you want, let me know. I'll send it to you. Engaging employees in incident investigation. Again, this is one of the recommendations of incidents that took place outside the refinery. And now all incidents are, all employees are involved in all incident investigation. We also, one of the issues was to find out how we're doing in terms of our safety culture. Yeah, this is again picked up from the Challenger and the other incidents. And we wanted to measure our safety culture. And we did that in 1998. We did it again in 2005 to find if there is any improvement. And we did it again in 2017. So I will just share with you the result just very briefly. We did this in collaboration with Arabian Gulf University. So engaging industry with academia, I think we think it's a very powerful ingredient to finding or success, or very good balance between industry and academia. So we picked a sample of 453 employees, and we had some managers, employees, and supervisors. We had this combination will give us something called confidence level, 98% confidence level. In other words, if we repeat the same study using a different sample, the same sample, we are 98% confident we'll get the same result. The survey consisted of 100 questions, and they are arranged to fall under 21 different categories. These different categories make up our safety culture. That's what we believe. All answers are answered either yes or no, and participant identity was kept anonymous. The survey was made online, both in Arabic and English. And this is what we get. When we get the results, we just compile the result. This is what we get. We get the red, meaning the responses, positive responses of managers. The green bar means the supervisor positive response, and employees positive response is the blue. And anything less than 60% we consider as area of or red flag area which we need to take an action straight away, no delay. Any responses which is less than 70% positive, we call it an area of concern. Fortunately, in 2017, we had no area of concern. We had no area or red flag areas. We did have, in 2005, a number of red flags and a number of area of concern. So this is very powerful. It tells us how we're doing in terms of our safety culture. Very powerful instrument that would define or measure your safety culture. What also we did, this is as a result of a research we did internally. We did something called ear show. Ear show is, we wondered whether the protection or PPE we provide to our employees are effective or not. And unfortunately, we found that some of the PPE we provide to our employees are not effective. Yeah? One of them is the ears, ear plugs. Yeah? So we took a sample of our employees. We test their from Bobco and contractors. It's about 21% of all population. And we found that 22.5% of our employees and contractors were not protected. It's either to do with the ear canal. It's probably wide, or it's narrow, or it's long, or it's short. And the earplugs that we provided them was not good enough to provide the protection that we were after. Very eye-opening initiative that we undertook. So we then looked at the 22% of the employees, and we provided them with the personnel or the ear defenders or earplugs that fit their ears. Okay, so I think this is the end, but I'll just leave you with some concluding remarks. So learning is not easy. We learn, whether it's at a personal level or organizational level. It's definitely not an easy task, and no two persons would disagree. خلص وقتي؟
الوقت كمان.
So, okay, I'm over. I'm finished as well. So several steps are required to achieve learning. So it's not easy. Learning is not easy. Communication, we think, is make or break in any safety initiative. So focus should be on communication when we want to learn. Also, this concept, we should really have this concept in our mind all the time. So you don't have to have incidents in your organizations. So whatever incidents happened elsewhere could be considered as a near miss to you. So your incident is my near miss. You need to get information from other organizations and see if it is applicable or not to you. Commitment, I think commitment at all levels, commitment of employees, management at all levels, start off the learning cycle, but what's more important is consistency. Consistency will maintain that cycle. Yeah? With this, I explained what we do, how we do it. If you want to know about how we do things, just let me know, and we'll be very happy to help you and share with you these references that I used to compile this presentation. With this, thank you so much.